What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? If you quit your job, if you take that other job, if you eat a sandwich and you're on a diet, and if you tell the truth at your next company meeting that you're stupid and you don't understand what you're doing, what's the worst that can happen if you travel to another country when really you should supposed to be saving money? I don't know. It's a stupid question. It's a stupid question. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Everybody, at least not everybody, but I heard most people on YouTube especially, they're like, what's the worst that can happen? Come on, just calculate it, calculate it, calculate it. Well, do not ask an overthinker what's the worst that can happen. If somebody asks me to go with them on a travel trip, and I don't want to, maybe because I have a crippling social anxiety, I don't fucking know. Let's just not go into that. Let's just not self-diagnose. But I'm just gonna be like, let me think about it. And they're like, come on, what's the worst that can happen? And I'm like, oh, I am definitely not going now. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Well, if you ask an overthinker what's the worst that can happen, well, guess what? Yeah, we're just gonna make shit up. We're just gonna make shit up and we're gonna talk ourselves out of it. Alright? Instead, I have an alternative for you. I have an alternative for you. Alright? For you overthinkers out there. I have an alternative for you that is very much helping me in everyday life. What is the best that can happen? What is the best that can happen if you take that travel trip? What is the best that can happen if you take that other job? What is the best that can happen if you start a YouTube channel? What's the best thing that can happen? Okay? Now, you're overthinking about all the possibilities. You're overthinking about certain things that could happen and would never happen if you never went. That's the fear of missing out. You know, the FOMO, the fear of missing out. You're like, you want to go somewhere because you're afraid of missing out. You want to start a YouTube channel because you're afraid of missing out on the trend of being a YouTuber. You want to go there to Barcelona because you're fearful of missing out on it. You know, you're fearful of dying before you go there, right? You're afraid of, if you don't go there, you may not meet the love of your life there in Spain, right? So right now, it's kind of like your body's like, go, come on. You know, it's kind of like fear propels you forward. This is how it works for me, and it's just so incredible when you think about it. You know, what's the best that can happen is just such a powerful question. What's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that can happen, I don't want to think about it because I'm just going to make shit up. I'm just going to bring aliens in the story. I'm going to bring certain unexplainable paradoxes in the story. And I can write a book. What's the worst that can happen? Come on. Do not ask me that. I already know that. I already know that answer. What's the best that can happen? Well, you're just overthinking about all the possibilities. If you take that travel trip, you could meet the love of your life. You know? You could break your leg. And then when you go to the hospital, there's the nurse. And the nurse is the love of your life. I'm just going in circles. But you get the point. What's the best that can happen if you start a YouTube channel? Well, there are a lot of things, you know. There are a lot of things. One of the best things that can happen is that you eventually understand that you may not like it and you will forever just disregard the idea of becoming a YouTuber, and you're going to focus on lawyering. You know, maybe you're going to study to be a lawyer, or maybe you're just going to pick up a lawnmower and then you're going to low mows? No. You get my point. I just think that looks so cool. That looks so cool. Just you and the grass. And the grass, when it's freshly cut, smells so good, right? But right now you think that's embarrassing or whatever. You may think that, right? But maybe if you begin doing it, like I would totally be doing that job. I would totally be doing, first of all, I'm swaying off topic, but listen, that job is you, your thoughts, and the grass. And usually your thoughts are not present when you're just so close to the grass. There's just something about the grass that it's just special. It's nature, it's the green and everything. So yeah, what's the best thing that can happen if you start a business, if you quit that job? What's the best that can happen? Like, so many possibilities out there, and now you're afraid of missing out on them, so fear is gonna propel you forward.